Hey, what's going on, everybody? Alex here with Freedom Mowers. Hope you guys are having a great week. Thank you guys for tuning in. All of you that are checking it out, that are new here, and the people that have been coming and checking out my other videos, I really appreciate it. If you guys do like this kind of content, think about subscribing, and if you do, make sure you hit that bell notification. Every time I upload, you guys will know when I put up a video. Today I am gonna be, got a little bit of time, so I'm gonna be trying to work on this older Troy Bilt big wheel. This is the 6.5 Quantum. These are good little engines. I got this one, if you guys saw a few videos ago, I got that mower haul, and this is one of the ones that was included. And when I checked it out, we did squirt some carb spray in, and it did kick over. So more than likely this is just going to be a carb clean and look over a couple things on this machine. I do remember the baling handle works on it. The blade looked good on it. The other thing that I have noticed I've got to figure out is where the screw goes in to close up the air filter housing. The retainer, the threaded retainer, is missing, so I'm gonna have to figure out something for that. But I will go ahead and get you guys set up on the tripod. We'll just throw some carb spray in there. We'll make sure it still kicks over, and then we'll dive into this carburetor. Now, I did want to show you guys, actually I don't know, probably won't be able to see it, but maybe you can hear it. But this primer on this is working extremely well, which sometimes they're hard to do because a lot of times these housings, they get over tightened and the gasket is hard to get a good seal on, and the primer doesn't work. So if this does fire over on the carb spray, I think what I'm going to try to do is just take out the bolt on the bottom, which is actually the main jet on here, and we'll try to get that cleaned up and see if that will fix the issue. So let's go ahead and shoot a little spray in there, see if it'll kick over. Almost sounded like it wanted to run on its own gas there for a minute. All right, well, let's go ahead and take off that bowl. I need to actually get something that isn't going to be so aggressive on these fuel lines. I think this line is so dry rotted too, I'm afraid it's going to break. So I may end up having to put a new fuel line on this anyway. But let's take a look. Should just be a half-inch socket for that bowl nut. You guys can hear my little temporary shed out here. It's whipping today. Oh yeah, there's some trash in there. See if you guys can see that or not. Honestly, looks like there's a bit of water in there too. I'll get that cleaned out. Alright, bowl is clean. Check our jet. I would say that's pretty clean right there. And then I'm just gonna take the tip of this and see if I can't go up the emulsion tube here. If I can get it in there. All right. Let's see. Try to pop this back on now. You guys can't really see what I'm doing, but just sliding the bowl back on there and trying to make sure that gasket's lined up. We'll get this snugged up and see if it'll run on its own fuel. The tank was empty earlier, so I put a little bit in there before I started the video up. All right. Let's uncrimp our line here. Definitely needs a new fuel line. Make sure I put enough gas in it too. No, to be honest, I might not have put enough gas in it. Put just a splash in there, but put it just a little bit more. I don't see any fuel leaks. Make sure you guys can see here. And let's try to prime it. Of course, now it sounds like it's not priming. Let's see. It's priming up now. Yeah, we're leaking fuel. I think it's got a bad gasket on the float bowl. Let's see if it'll start. I think I have extra gaskets for that too, or extra O-ring. I think it's gonna have a hard time pulling fuel up when it's like that. All right, let me see if I can get that bowl back off. I'm gonna take a look at it and see if I can put a new O-ring on and see if that will cure the issue. All right, well, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get in here without taking the the plate off. So, I believe these are 5/16 on this. And I have another gasket or another O-ring here. Let's see what we got. Sorry, I know my big head's right in the way. Trying to make it where you guys can see. I think since we got it this far, I might as well just go ahead and take off. Might as well just take off the carburetor. We'll take a look at it. What are, I believe, 2 3/8. It's been a while since I've worked on a Quantum. Should just have 2 3/8 and then take off the linkage. I don't know if you guys can see, there's a huge missing portion. So there's where the issue was. So I'll go ahead and take off what's left, which is pretty much petrified and glued on here. We'll get that off. I'll make sure it's cleaned up, and we'll try to get the new O-ring on there. I'll try to reuse the original gasket. I do have some of these. I'll give that a shot here. Alright, well, I got the new seal on here. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'll put the bowl on now that we got everything off. Hopefully we'll have a good seal now. Sometimes these gaskets, they just get a little tricky. You'll end up pinching them, and then you kind of end up with issues from that too. So you just gotta make sure it's lined up, and that you got the bowl straight on there. And we do, and then we'll cinch that down. And there's also a small little gasket on the bolt slash jet as well. You want to make sure that's still there, but This carb really didn't look too bad. I mean, it's obviously yucky on the outside, but yeah, let's just roll with that. See how it goes. Let's take that off. Give it a minute to let our fuel bowl fill back up. Get you guys in position here. See if this primer's gonna work. Oh yeah, it's gushing out of there now. Wow, that's a really good primer. So far, no leaks. Let's see if this is gonna work. I might have even flooded it. I don't know. It's either going to be flooded or it didn't have quite enough yet. We'll find out in a sec. Guess I didn't quite have enough. I don't know why it's not pulling up the main jet though. Alright, well, I was getting ready to take this off, but I wanted to look at one thing because I thought maybe there was something going on with the throttle. And there was. So, the way that they had this, you guys can see there's a little smoke coming off the muffler. I got it started up. Yeah, the throttle was not open at all. So, I'll show you how they had this thing set up on here. Basically, where they had the spring, it went down and around and was pulled. I can't even get it now, but this portion was pulled all the way up to the front of this linkage arm, and it wasn't allowing the throttle to even work. Let me see if I can get it back in position now. I'm trying to do this one-handed. Of course, now I got it stuck. Alright, there we go. So, it's up, and then around on here, on this eyelet, and then, yeah, and then you can move the eyelet as you need for tension on the spring. So, now we have tension on the spring like we're supposed to. So, I'll show you guys this cover. Still think the carb needs a cleaning, but throw this cover back on real quick. And we'll give it a few primes. See how it does. So that was the issue with that. So we had the spring was in the wrong location on the governor, and the dry rotted and broken O-ring gasket for the carburetor bowl. I don't even think the jet was really that dirty, but I would like to take this off and throw it in the ultrasonic cleaner. I guess that's pretty much it where we're at right now. I mean, I think it's just gonna need an oil change, and then I'm gonna find something I can put in here where we can get the air filter secured. But I think I'm gonna leave off today because it's starting to get dark, and I'll get this in the ultrasonic cleaner and get that cleaned up, and then we'll conclude the video. But this one wasn't too bad, and I think it should clean up fairly nice. It's a 2003. It is called the Garden Way by Troy Bilt. I don't know why I said Troy Bilt all funky, but it's a Troy Bilt big wheel. Fairly good shape for the age, and I think it's going to be a good runner. So I'll get this thing, get the carb popped in the ultrasonic cleaner, and take it from there. All right, well, it's been a couple of days actually since I worked on this. I was trying to remember where I left you guys off. Did a few things to it, one of which was replacing this fuel line, which was, I mean, you can see it here, basically disintegrating. I keep a roll of that in stock for most of these mowers. The other thing I was telling you guys about was there is normally like an encapsulated nut in here for the filter housing to clamp down the filter, and the one had fallen out of here. So what I came up with was to Dremel a small notch in the top of this ear, and then I found a nut that would fit on it, and I put the nut on the inside of the ear here, and got a little bit of hot glue, and basically just make my own encapsulated nut for it, and it actually works pretty well. So I gotta get a screwdriver to tighten that up. So let's see, I did that. The fuel line, I did an oil change on it, and I also cleaned up the plug a little bit. It was still in really good shape. So overall, I think also I was telling you guys that I was thinking about putting the carburetor in the ultrasonic cleaner, but I did run it a couple times after I shut the video off the other day, and it seemed like everything cleared up on it. So what I'm gonna do now is just get this machine washed up, and I'll show you guys one more look of it cleaned up, and we'll start it up, see how everything works on it. This one does have the ball bearing wheels, and if you've never used the ball bearing wheels on these before, it's extremely smooth. So I was pleasantly surprised on how smooth this mower pushes. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this cleaned up, and I'll show you guys how it works when we're done. All right, well, here's one last look. Sorry, I know the sun is super bright right now. Overall, this cleaned up fairly well for its age, 2003, so I think this will be a pretty good mower for somebody. I'll get you guys up on the tripod, we'll fire it up one more time and wrap this video up. Alright. Had it running a little while ago, so let's see if it'll fire up without the primer now. Awesome. Well, running great. Just one more quick overview. We had the issue, it needed a little bit of a carb clean, had the O-ring on the bowl that was causing kind of a hard time for fuel to draw up into the carburetor or up into the jet. I had to fix the retaining nut for the air filter housing on it, the spring for the governor, fuel line, and we did, I blew out the air filter, cleaned the plug, fresh oil change, and should be good to go. So on that note, I appreciate you guys checking out the video. Like I said, I think at the beginning, if you guys are new here, make sure you guys hit that subscribe if you like this kind of content, and that bell drop down. That way you guys know every time I upload a video. And for the people that have been here for the last few videos, I greatly appreciate the support, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. I think we might be doing a engine swap on that Poulan Pro, so stay tuned. I'll see you guys next time. All right.